Attention please. Pearl and Greg are the ultimate ship, and no one can tell me different. Carnadine Fusion and Pearl is Steven's mom, and all the crystal gems are coming straight from Taiwan. All the gems are baked potatoes, and you're rearing on the border. If you think I'm being serious, you must have a disorder. Wolfgang theories. So I know that may sound like a stretch, but Greg and Pearl are meant for each other. I understand that Greg has had romantic relationships in the past with gems that may not have ended so well, but I am still a strong believer that Pearl and Greg are a good ship. So without further ado, let's get right into the evidence for today. First off, let's take a look at the evidence post Drop Beat Dad, the episode before Mr. Greg. Greg and Pearl's relationship has been off to a rocky start ever since they first met, due to the whole fighting over the same person thing.
You're just a phase. You know that, right?
No, I actually don't know that, Pearl.
But we can clearly see in Mr. Greg that they finally get over all the anger and put it aside in an absolutely beautiful musical number.
Look, if I were you, I'd hate me too.
I don't hate you.
But I knew how you felt about Rose, and I stayed anyway.
That wasn't the problem.
Then what was?
She fell in love with you.
After this scene, it is clear that Pearl and Greg are now on a much more solid ground for the rest of the series to Gem Harvest, the latest episode of Steven Universe. Now, a lot has happened in between Gem Harvest and Mr. Greg. Let's look at the episode Gem Hunt, where Pearl was inevitably confirmed best gem.
Who's your favorite gem?
Pearl!
Why, thank you.
Now, we all know this is untrue due to one other very sexy gem being in the way. But for the sake of this theory, we'll put that aside for now. Who would be deserving of dating the best gem, and for all intents and purposes, best mom?
Pearl! You're always worried about me, you teach me lots of stuff, you're approachable, and you're like totally not gross.
It would be best dad.
Think you'd like to stay at a motel with your favorite dad?
Greg! Case sealed, case closed, case done, it's over! But seriously, even if we take a look at Gem Harvest, Pearl makes a comment about how their Greg is the better Greg over Andy.
Our Greg is clearly the superior one.
This confirms two things. Pearl x Andy, rest in peace, and Pearl loves Greg. Second, we are going to look at Pearl and Greg's obvious repression. We can see in the episode of Steven Universe House Guest, after Pearl fixes Greg's van, that Greg grabs Pearl and hugs her, and oh lord, that is a lot of hugging. Do you see where I'm getting at? This isn't just a friendly hug. This is a romantic hug. And do you see how Pearl limps away, scared for her life? What if she is just so scared because Greg hugging her reminded her of her Greg fantasies? This Greg fantasies idea is also proven in the episode Chill Tid, where Pearl has a dream about Rose, her obvious lover, which turns into Greg with pizza coming out of his mouth to boot. This may also be a sign that Pearl has some repressed feelings about food as well. But if we think back to Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis theories, we can recall that a train and a tunnel in a dream points to repressed sexual feelings. This would mean that Greg's mouth is the tunnel and the pizza is the train. Does this refer to Pearl's sexually repressed feelings towards Greg? Absolutely. Pearl loves Greg. Maybe a tad too much. Save it for Mr. Greg, sweetie. On to the final reason we have this. Okay, so you can't tell anybody, but I found some super secret Cartoon Network footage lying around the office. That's right, I am a Cartoon Network employee. And I might just show this footage to you, but you have to be super careful about making sure this doesn't get out, okay? Roll footage! Hey Greg, how it going? It going well, Pearl. Thank you for ask. So Greg, can you give me one of those hug again? Pearl, why would you want the hug? Isn't it obvious? I would like the sexes with you. Yee! That was a little unflattering. Well, don't think too ill of Cartoon Network. I'm sure they do this every once in a while trying to think of ideas. Regardless, this once and for all proves that Greg and Pearl are lovers 100%. No doubt in my mind. My final closing thoughts are that Pearl and Greg may have been a bit of an odd coupling before, but due to the evidence we have in all the episodes combined with the wonderful clip I found lying around the office, you would have to have blind faith to believe that Greg and Pearl are not getting together anytime soon. Greeting, weary traveler. You have made it to the end of another Wolfganger1357 exclusive video. Here is a wonderful link to subscribe and a link to my last video. Are Peridot's metal powers real, or just another well-known character hiding in the bushes? Find out by watching now, and have a great day.